Hello student, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sushma Talegaonkar from the Department of Pharmaceutics, Jamia Hamdard. Today, we are going to discuss about the module packaging process as the source of impurities and their analysis from paper Pharmaceutical and Biological Evaluation. Then after completing this module, you should be able to know about the importance of packaging in maintaining the integrity of the drug product, to study the various types of the packaging, to know about the various types of the packaging material and generally used for pharmaceutical product, to understand the drug and the packaging material interaction and how a package material can cause the impurity in the drug products, and to study the various methods to control the such type of the impurities which is occurring from the packaging material. Packaging. The packaging is the science, art, and technology of providing presentation, identification, information, protection, convenience, and containment during the storage, distribution, sale, and use. Introduction. The package selected should adequately preserve the integrity of the final product. The selection of the package, therefore, begins with a determination of the product's physical and the chemical characteristics. This diagram is showing that Tetra Pak is a Switzerland-based multinational company which produces the special type of the packaging which keeps the packed material stable for a longer period of time. The characteristics of the good packaging system. A good packaging should have the following properties. First, they should provide the protection of the product from environmental conditions such as the light, gases, moisture, and solvent loss. It should be non-toxic. The packaging material must not impart any taste and color to the product. They must be non-reactive with the product, and FDA mandates that the package should maintain the identity, strength, quality, and purity of a drug for whole shelf life. Now, the types of packaging material. The packaging material, they are divided into the two types. The first one is the primary packaging component and another one is the ancillary packaging material. The primary packaging component are those which are in direct contact with the pharmaceutical dosage form. So for example, different type of the liners, bottles, desiccants in bottle and the blister films. While the ancillary packaging, they are again divided into the two. One is the secondary packaging material and another one is the tertiary pack or the transit pack. The secondary packaging components, they means a packaging component that is not and will not become in direct contact with the dosage form. For example, cartons and overwrap for the blisters, closures, various types of the leaflets, etc. Tertiary packaging system. The tertiary packaging is used for bulk handling, warehouse storage, and transport shipping. The most common form is a pelletized unit load that packs tightly into the containers. Now, the another classification of the packaging is based on dosage capacity. According to the dosage capacity, the packaging system, they can be divided into the following form. The first one is the single unit container system. This system is that which contains a single quantity of the medication to be used at a one time. Multiple unit container system is that one which encloses the multiple doses and permits the multiple withdrawals of the oral dosage forms, while a multiple dose container is a multiple unit container designed for the parenteral administration only. Other types of the containers. Over-the-counter products or the medicaments, ophthalmics, and the products that require the temper-resistant packaging. The drugs that undergo the photooxidation should be packaged in light-resistant container like amber color bottles. For the moisture-sensitive drugs, a tight container, one that protects the content from the contamination or the loss, or a hermetic container is necessary. The another type is well-closed container, which protect their contents from the solid contaminants and some other handling processes. Types of packaging materials. The faulty packaging of pharmaceutical dosage form can invalidate the most stable formulation. So, the choice of packaging material should be made only after a thorough evaluation of the package material. The container should be effective to keep the drug stable even after varying the environmental conditions of the temperature, humidity and light. Types of packaging material. This slide is showing what are the various material used for the packaging. So there are four materials which we commonly used for packaging. First one is the plastic, second one is the glass, third one is the metal, and fourth one is the rubber. And for tertiary packaging material, we usually prefer the wooden material and paper. Now, this plastic is again divided into the two types. First one is the thermosetting type and another one is the thermoplastic type. This thermosetting type of the plastic, they cannot deform easily. Examples, they are the bakelite and melamine. While in case of thermoplastic, they are generally deformed very easily by the heat. Example, polyvinyl chloride and polyethylene. Again, this is the continuation of the previous slide. Here we are going to discuss what are the various materials which we generally use for closure. So, the material which we generally use for the closure, they are divided into the two. Most commonly, the rubber is generally used for the closure system. This rubber, they are generally divided into the two forms, natural rubber and synthetic rubber. This natural rubber, they are the examples are a smoked sheet and the this spell crepe. While the synthetic rubber, that is the butyl rubber and nitrile rubbers are very commonly used for the closure. This is the diagram which shows various types of the packaging material and various types of the shapes of the container which we generally used for the packaging. The glass as a packaging material, due to its superior protective qualities and the elegancy, the glass is commonly used in the pharmaceutical packaging. The glass containers are readily available in the variety of the different sizes, shapes and the colors. Types of the glasses. There are the various types of the glasses are available for the various types of the pharmaceutical product packaging. So the first one is the soda lime glass, another one is the borosilicate glass, third one is the neutral glass, fourth one is the natural tubing for the ampoules, the lead free glass, then the sulfur container polyethylene, then the silicon treated container. The property of the good glass or the ideal glass as a packaging material. It should be chemically inert. As we all know, the packaging material should not interact with the material or the drug moiety or the formulation. Then the second is it must be impermeable and strong. So it should not allow any material to be coming inside or going outside from the container. It should be adequately rigid and has a FDA clearance. The glass does not deteriorate with the age and have a proper closure system. It should provide an excellent barrier against the practically every element except the light. The colored glass, especially the amber color glass, can give the protection against the light when it is required. Glass as a packaging material. The glass is composed of sand, soda ash, limestone, and kaolin. Silica, aluminium, boron, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, zinc, and barium are generally used into the preparation of the glass. Now, what are the advantages of the glass as a packaging material? They are superior protective quality, they are economical, variety of the size and the shape are available, they are chemically inert, glass is impermeable also, it is very strong and rigid also, and FDA clearance, and various type of the colors options are available like transparent, ambered color, red color, blue color. So the various types of the color glasses we can design according to the need. Disadvantages of the glass as a packaging material. The one of the most important disadvantage is that it is a fragile and it is having a weight. Another disadvantage is release alkali to the aqueous preparation, and some preparations they may degrade due to the changes in the pH, and it sometimes may be cracked during the transportation, so the preparation can be leaked out from the glass. Composition of the glass. Generally, the glass contains sand, that is a silicon dioxide, soda ash, that is also known as the sodium carbonate, limestone, that is a calcium carbonate, chelate or the broken glass, that is also called as a fusion agent. Boron oxide, that is a BO3, helps in reducing the temperature and thus fasten the melting process. Lead, that is provide the brilliance and the clarity but produces the soft glass. Alumina, that is the aluminum oxide, which provides the hardness, durability and resistance to the chemical action to the glass. Manufacturing of the glass container. So mainly four processes are generally used for manufacturing of the glass container. The first one is the blowing, that is compressed air molds the blown glass in metal mold cavity. Example, commercial bottles and jars. Second method is drying. Molten glass is pulled in rollers and dies. Example, glass sheets, tubes, rods, etc. of the uniform diameter. Third method is pressing. Mechanical force is applied to press the molten glass against the sides of the mold. And the last one is the casting. Gravity or centrifugal force is used as a driving force to transform molten glass in the mold cavity. Types of glasses used for pharmaceuticals. The four types of the glasses are mainly used to pack the pharmaceuticals. The first one is the borosilicate glass, that is also called as a type 1 glass. Treated soda lime glass, that is type 2 glass. Regular soda lime glass, type 3 glass. General purpose soda lime glass, that is type 4 glass. USP and National Formulary NF describe the various types of the glasses and their applications in the pharmaceuticals. Like type 1 borosilicate glass is generally used for packing of water for injection and unbuffered products. Type 2 glass is generally used for packing of the products that remains below pH for their shelf life and large volume parenterals. Type 3 regular soda lime glass is generally used to pack the dry powder and the formulation insensitive to alkaline pH. Type 4, that is a general purpose soda lime glass, is generally used for general purposes or to store the various types of the reagents and the products which are not affected by the pH or alkali. Drug glass consideration. Here we are going to discuss what are the important precautions or properties which we have to check when we are taking the glass as a packaging material. So in this consideration, the two main factors which are very important, the first one is the withering and another one is the flaking. So sometimes this defect may be caused by the glass which we are selecting for packaging of the pharmaceuticals. Withering. Now let us discuss what is the withering and how it is creating a problem when we are using the glass as a packaging material. So this withering is also known as the de-alkalization leads to the corrosion of the glass. Humidity causes leaching out of the sodium salts or iron present in the glass. Commonly observed when the glass containers are stored for very long time. Some of the effects of withering are weight loss of the glass, staining, hazing, ion exchange, difficult to clean. It also increases the fragility and chemical reactivity, and ultimately it will affect the quality of the product. So one should be very selective when scientist is using glass as a packaging material. So before selecting a glass as a packaging material, the formulator should know the quality or the characteristic of the preparation which he is or she is going to store in the glass. Now, the second defect of the glass, as we already discussed, that is a flaking. Now, let us see what is the flaking. This flaking is also known as a delamination, and the diagram is also showing how this lamination or delamination of the glass is going to be occur. The insoluble flakes release into the liquid stored in the container. It is usually invisible for the naked eyes. It is observed on the surface of the glass and it can occur during the manufacturing, sterilization or heat treatment. If it remains unchecked, then it can cause the very serious contamination of the stored product and can have a lethal effects on the patient. Usually, the stereo micro FTIR, SEM, that is the scanning electron microscopy, X-ray photoelectron spectrophotometry are generally used to determine the flaking. Chemical resistant test of the glass. There are the two important tests to check the chemical resistance of the glass. The first one is the powder glass test and another one is the water attack test. In the powder glass test, we are taking the powder glass, while in the case of water attack test, we are taking the whole container. So the first one is powder glass test. It is generally carried out on the crushed grains of a specific size. It measures the amount of alkalinity leach from the glass under the controlled conditions of elevated temperature by using purified water. Second is water attack test. It is generally conducted on the whole container and is used only with the type 2 glass. Now the another packaging material is the plastic. The plastic containers are made up of one or the more polymers with certain additives. Advantages of using the plastic as a packaging material. So there are the various advantages of this plastic over the glass as a packaging material. They are, first, the ease in their method of preparation. Second, the high quality and the freedom of designing. Any shape and any size can be taken for their manufacturing. Then the resistance toward the breakage. If they can be easily transported without any breakage or the leakage or anything. Then the another important advantage is easy handling along with the reduction of the breakage losses at all the distribution levels and the use. Composition of the plastic. So the composition of the plastic, we can call it as a composition of the polymers which is present in the plastic. So basically the plastics, they are the polymers, and nowadays the market, especially the pharmaceutical field, is flooded with the so many type of the polymers which can be used for the various purposes. But the polymers which we are discussing here, they are basically developed for packaging material. So mostly the plastic containers may contain the following type of the polymers specially used in packing of the pharmaceutical product. The first one is very popular, that is a polyethylene, that is P, then polypropylene PP, polyvinyl chloride PVC, and polymonochloro trifluoroethylene, that is PCTETFE, and polystyrene, that is PS. Second one is the additives. Various types of the additives can be used during the formulation or manufacturing of the plastics. They may be antioxidant, they may be coloring agent, they may be anti-static agents, they may be the impact modifiers, they may be the plasticizers, lubricants and stabilizers. Disadvantages of the plastic. Now let us see what are the disadvantages or the limitation when we are using the plastic as a packaging material. So the main disadvantages are they can allow the permeation, and it can occur in two directions. Two directions means from the solution or from the formulation in the container through the plastic into the ambient environment, and from the ambient environment through the plastic into the preparation. So in both ways, the product is going to be degraded or affected. Drug plastic consideration. This particular slide is showing what are the important parameters that the one should taken into the consideration while selecting the plastic as a packaging material. So mostly nowadays the plastic is one of the most common material which we are using for the packaging of the various pharmaceutical products, and definitely this plastic is having a certain advantages over the glass as a packaging material. But at the same time, it also causes the various types of the defects, various types of the serious effect or the hazard in the preparation. So while selecting the plastic as a packaging material, following points they should keep in mind before selection. So first one is the permeation, because sometimes the plastic allowed to permeate so many drug molecules, and again it will cause serious issue in the preparation. The leaching, there are the certain material which can leach out from the plastic into the preparation which is stored in the plastic container. Another defect may be the absorption. There are the certain drug molecules which can transfer from the preparation to the plastic material, and they are going to adsorb on the plastic surface, and they are hampering the quality of the preparation. Another thing is the chemical reaction. As the name indicates, in many of the cases there are some preparations which may react with the plastic, and it can form a very different type of the moiety, and again it will make a very big question mark in the integrity of the preparation. And the last one is the modification, in which we are generally do the some modification in the plastic, so it can prevent the preparation from the degradation or the contamination. Now let us take one by one this consideration and how they are going to affect the quality of the product. The first one is the permeation. The permeation of the oxygen and the water vapor through the plastic wall can cause the hydrolysis or the oxidation of the stored product. The transmission of the liquids, gases, or the vapors through the packaging material made up of the plastic can adversely affect the shelf life of the product. The permeation increases with the temperature and the humidity. So, one should be quite careful where he is going to store that plastic container. Examples: polyethylene containers are deformed by permeation of the environmental gases and the vapors, or by loss of content through the walls of the container. The another consideration is the leaching. The leaching is the process of migration of some products from container to the drug product. Means the certain ions are the compounds which are coming out from the container to the drug. Leaching of the additives from the plastics are very common. The plastic container mostly releases its constituents to the drug product, leading to the drug contamination and cause the impurity in the product. And sometimes they may be toxic or the lethal to the patient. The absorption is another parameter which one should take into the consideration while selecting the plastic as a packaging material. The absorption is the process of removal of the constituents from the drug product or from the formulation due to its contact with the packaging material. Absorption may affect the purity and therapeutic efficacy of the drug products of high potency that are administered in small doses. It also has derogatory effects on the activity of the constituents which are aided in low concentration in the products, like examples: preservative, antioxidant. They are generally aided in a very minute quantity, so they are very potent. So if the small quantity of the antioxidant or the preservative, if they are going to adsorb on the plastic material, they may compromise the quality of the product, because the sufficient quantity of the preservative or antioxidant will not be available in the drug product, and during the shelf life or during the storage time, the product will not going to be stable. What are the factors that determine the extent of the absorption from the product to the packaging depends are as follows. First one is the chemical structure of the drug product. So one should be very careful, or one should know what is the structure of the drug product, what are the active groups are present on that structure of the drug. Second is the concentration of the active ingredients, whether the product which we are going to store, whether it is a potent medicament containing product or it is a normal containing drug. Third one is one should also know what is the length and the area of the contact of the drug material with the plastic. Another important criteria: what is the pH of the preparation, and whether the preparation is going to be affected by the pH or not, and according to that he can select the material. Another one is the solvent system. If suppose we are storing the liquid preparation in the plastic container, so one should be very careful what type of the solvent is present in that liquid preparation. So if the preparation is containing the organic solvent, so one should be very careful that he should know that that plastic material should not be dissolved in the solvent which is present in the formulation. Otherwise, the toxic effect or the adverse reaction may be occur during the administration. And the last one is the what is the temperature condition at which we are storing the preparation. So as we have already discussed that the plastics, they are generally divided into the thermoplastic and the thermosetting type of the plastic material, and mainly they are very sensitive towards the temperature. So if we are using at a very high temperature for storage of this plastic container, they may be liquefy and they may be deteriorate the preparation. So these are the various types of the factors that one should consider in his mind before selecting the plastic as a packaging material. Then chemical reactivity. This is the another important parameter that one should take into the consideration when the person is using the plastic as a packaging material. So anybody who is using the plastic, they should check their chemical reactivity. The chemical reactivity means how that polymer or the plastic material which we have taken is reacting with the drug moiety. So for that we have to check the structure of the drug moiety, and we should know the structure of the polymer. So the plastic are made of monomeric units that can show the chemical reactivity with the drug products packed inside it. Thus, the material used in packaging should be chemically inert. The chemical incompatible substances, even if added in the micro quantities, can greatly affect the quality of the product. Then the modification. This is the another way how you can make the plastic as a comfortable or compatible with the drug products. So for that we generally use some modification procedure. So it is the process of alteration in the physical and the chemical property of packaging material due to the material stored in the container. Permeation, leaching, sorption, and the chemical reactivity can also lead to this type of the modification. The mechanical property of the plastic can be altered by the some solvent system. Examples: oils show the softening effect on the polyethylenes. Polyethylenes and polyvinyl chloride attacked by the fluorinated hydrocarbon. So one should be quite careful what type of the material he is storing in the plastic packaging material. Metal as a packaging material. Now let us see what are the advantages and disadvantages and what type of the metals which we can use to store the especially the pharmaceutical preparation. The metal is almost completely impermeable to the gas and the water. Metal containers are extremely strong and are shatter proof. Products that require the high standard of purity should be stored in tin container. The tin is frequently used in the production of aerosol containers by electroplating it onto the steel sheet to improve the corrosion resistance. Other materials which are used for packaging of pharmaceutical products include aluminum, lead, steel, copper, etc. Rubber. The rubber is another packaging material which we are commonly used in pharma industry. The rubber of various type of composition is used in pharmaceutical and biological products as stoppers, cap liners, and the parts of the dropper assemblies. A major use to make the closure for multiple dose vial of the injection. Natural rubber is resistant to dilute mineral acids, alkalis, and salts, but get attacked by oxidizing agents, oils, benzene, and ketones. So if this type of the preparation we want to store, we should avoid the natural rubber as a closure type of the system. Then the another type is hard rubber. Hard rubber, then the natural rubber plus 25% or more sulfur is called the hard rubber, and this is generally used for handling the strong acids like HCl, H2SO4, and HNO3. The importance of synthetic rubber has increased as it is a better compared to the natural rubbers in the various properties like strength, resistance to the oxidation, and the resistance to the various types of the solvents, oils, and many chemicals which we have seen in case of natural rubber as a closure system. The examples of some synthetic rubbers are this is polychloroprene, that is also called the neoprene, polysiloxane, that is a silicon rubber, then this polyisoprene, then polybutadiene, chlorinated polyethylene elastomers, nitrile rubbers, that is the bunaene, and polyurethane. Analytical method development. Now in this slide we are discussing what are the different methods which we can develop to identify any impurity which is caused by the packaging material. So meaningful and the reliable analytical data is needed, and thus a proper analytical method should be developed. The process involves the following steps. First one is selection of the samples. Second one is the screening of the samples chromatographic condition, that is by linear solvent strength model of gradient illusion, and optimization of the methodology. Control of impurities. How we can control the impurities which is caused by the packaging material? So the following points, they should be taken into the mind. First one is drug packaging compatibility test we have to perform, and after performing the drug packaging compatibility, we should know what type of the impurities may caused by the particular type of the polymer or the packaging material. Then the second is the stability of the packaging. The formulator selecting any packaging material, he should know what is the stability of that packaging material. So for example, we know there are the various types of the polymers. In case of plastic as a packaging material, they are existing. So everybody should know the composition of that polymer, and in drastic condition what type of the impurity is may be caused by that packaging material. And another way, he should know how to make that preparation stable. So how he or how the formulator will store that particular formulation. So basically he or she should be acquainted with the stability of the packaging material. So like the melting point of that packaging material, or the glass transition temperature, or the solubility of the packaging material, the structure of that packaging material, what are the any reactive molecule is present in that packaging material, and so on. The third one is the extraction studies. The sometimes we also perform the extraction studies, means any material is extracting from the packaging material, that also we can identify, and after identification one can judge how to what extent it is a toxic, or what is the percentage limit of that extractable material. Then the biocompatibility studies can also be performed in order to control the impurities. Then last one is the quality control of the packaging material is also very important. And other methods, some material specific steps can also be taken, like the sulfur treatment of the glass prevents the leaching of the sodium ions. Surface layering of the metals with epoxy resins or non-corroding metals like stainless steel, etc., are generally performed in order to control the impurities given by packaging material. Analysis of drug impurity. Analysis of drug impurity is generally determined by the following steps. First, it is the identification by the TLC or HPTLC, or by the HPLC GC method. Then matching of the retention parameters with the authentic samples of the potential impurity. Then after that, if it is identified, then definitely we can go for identification or identified impurity, and then we determine the structure of that impurity, and then we further discuss, and further we go for the literature, and we can find out what is the limit of that particular impurity. If the impurity is not identified or unidentified, then we can go for the further preparative TLC, thin layer chromatography, then the preparative HPTLC, then the preparative HPLC, then maybe the GCMS. And after that we can perform that infrared spectroscopy, NMR, MS. And after determination or after identification, we can go for the suggested structure, then what is the synthesis, and again we can go for a identification by the TLC, and thus we can identify the impurity, and then we can think how this impurity is going to affect our product, and what is the limit of that impurity in the drug product. So the students, let us summarize what we have learned from this model. So we have discussed the various types of the packaging material and how they are going to contaminate the product, what are the various analytical methods. So now let us summarize what we have concluded or what we have extracted from this particular module. So the first one is packaging plays an important role in maintaining the quality, purity and efficacy of the product stored in it. It also provides the protection but can be source of contamination also. Thus, the selection of an appropriate container is very essential. The different tests and the standards have been established to identify the efficacy of a selected packaging system. Then proper understanding of the properties of the packaging material and the product is needed while selecting the packaging material to avoid any type of contamination or the degradation of a stored product. Thank you.